Hi guys, it's Sam for Sammy's Reviews, and in today's video I am super excited to review all the movies I've seen during the Cairo International Film Festival, which is a film festival that happens in Cairo, Egypt. I've seen tons of movies and I feel like I have so much to talk about and so much to discuss with you, and in order to cram all the things in my mind in videos, the format is gonna be 3 movies per video. Mostly where I review them overall. They're gonna be non-spoilery reviews, but it's gonna be a overview. Also, there's gonna be a separate video about the Cairo International Film Festival as a festival, how it was planned, what do I think of it, and all this stuff. So this year the Cairo International Film Festival movie selection was very diverse. There was a lot of premieres, and the first movie I want to discuss is MOGUL MAWGLI, directed by Bassem Tariq, and it stars, written by and produced by Riz Ahmed. So this movie follows a London rapper who's originally from Pakistan, and he's a struggling artist who goes back to his hometown where he suddenly faces a chronic disease that may alter his life and his career. This movie is very well shot and it has very creative imagery. Also, it's filled with dream sequences that are very smartly shot and unique. The themes discussed in the movie are themes that I think that wherever you are, you're gonna relate to it in some way or another with variation. First off, it talks about how globalization and modernity is keeping us away from embracing our original roots and our background where we come from. Our main character is having an identity crisis, and he's having an identity that's cracked, mixed, and fragmented. And the movie is forcing him to go back to his roots and to address his fears. Now, the movie is interesting because the fragmented identity that he has is not just a conflict between his Pakistani self and his white man self, the one who is trying to climb his way up the social ladder. Not only that, but also the art that he's embracing, the rapping culture, is not originally white nor Pakistani. It's a black culture. So his identity is very interesting because it's a mixture of the way he speaks is white, the way he looks is Pakistani, and the way he creates is black. Also, I want to note that the symbols and metaphors in the movie are very unique, and it belongs to the environment of the movie solely. It's very, very interesting how the director was able to visualize and symbolize the struggle of the character. Riz Ahmed, the main character, the main actor, is someone I admire and have been admiring for so long. I first saw him back in 2012 with Jake Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler, and he was outstanding. Then later on in 2016, he was the star, the main character of an excellent miniseries which I totally recommend, called The Night Of. It's an HBO miniseries, and this series is really what made Riz Ahmed shine in my eyes. Now he's in Star Wars and he's like a big superstar, but he shows his passion and his admiration to the issue that's discussed in MOGUL MAWGLI, and you can see how passionate he is, and it goes to the extent that he produced the movie. He's one of the producers. Also, very interesting fact that Riz Ahmed in real life sings and raps, and this talent came in handy inside the movie because the main character also sings and raps. Hence why he wrote the movie and wrote the songs in the movie. It's an excellent movie. I totally recommend it if you have a chance to see it. It's really, really a very well depiction on a very common theme of fragmented identities. I gave MOGUL MAWGLI 7.5 out of 10. Now moving on to the second movie and one of the stars in Cairo International Film Festival, The Father. The Father is directed by Florian Zeller, and it stars Anthony Hopkins and Olivia Colman. It follows an elderly man who is being looked after by his daughter. The movie thrives on its presentation. It's basically a bunch of clouded memories of an old man who misremembers things and misremembers people. It's tangled up memories and events inside his mind, and through this memories you try to understand what is happening with him and his daughter. Some of the scenes probably happened in his mind, some of the scenes probably happened in real life, you never know. And the movie gives a real and successful attempt to put you in the shoes of an elderly man, how hard it is to wake up not remembering things, not because he has dementia or anything, it's just being old. It's very hard to wake up not remembering things, not remembering people, finding it very hard to do very small mundane things such as recalling a name of an object, recalling a certain memory, and it gets to the extent that he is diagnosed. Also, it's very interesting how he perceives time, and this is excellently symbolized in the movie because he always makes sure to have his wristwatch on, so it's kind of an ever-going cycle of trying to run after time and conquering time while it's something that cannot be conquered. So from the beginning you can tell that his mind isn't working as efficiently as it should. And as I said, through this clouded series of memories, you try to figure out what has been happening to his daughter during this time, because the center of her life is her dad. She makes it her job to make sure he's okay at all times. And this causes another conflict in her because she tries to choose between her life and her father's. So Anthony Hopkins in this movie gives one of his best performances in his entire career. That's a very big sentence. That's literally Anthony Hopkins. So he knew how to embody an old person in the best way possible because he is an elderly. He knows exactly how to make you sympathize with him. He knows exactly how to add these small little details that you see old people doing and you never actually put it into words. Also, he masters the scenes, the way he switches in tone, the way he has mood swings, the way he goes from being totally goofy to totally angry. He is amazing. Olivia Colman was great. She didn't have much screen time as he did, but she is someone that you cannot argue with. She is amazing. She takes the scene. She's very charismatic, and also the soundtrack is very cool because our main character is a very big fan of classical music, and the music in the film comes from within the movie. So the way he associates certain songs with certain memories at a certain time of his life is very interesting. On a technical level, the movie is great. The directing was fair enough. It's not like amazing camera movement or anything that's inventive. However, the creative blocking in this movie was great. Pay attention to what is blocking your scene. If there is a conversation between two people, who is blocking who, all these things are very interesting. Of course, the screenplay in the movie is great because hear this out. The author of the novel from which the movie is adapted from is actually the director of the movie. So the director of the movie is actually the author of the original novel. I really recommend this movie. It's very humane and it will touch you in every way possible. I gave it 7.5 out of 10 as well. And the third movie and final movie I'm going to be talking about in this video is Memory House. Memory House is a Brazilian film. It follows a 50-year-old black man that is struggling and negatively affected by colonialism and how he is very isolated from his roots. So the Memory House, the title of the movie, is actually the house in which his family used to live. This house is now burned to ashes. It's almost not there. It's just abandoned now, and this represents his roots. He goes by it every single day and he finds white Brazilian citizens claiming it as a hangout spot and invading his own privacy. So the movie is just a series of how colonialism is causing a civil war between the original black Brazilians and the white Brazilians, the new generation. And in this movie, the main character is exposed to all sort of physical and mental violence by people stealing away his right in all sort of ways, in his job, in his life, in his family house. So he works in a dairy company that's stealing his rights every single day, and when he goes back to his family house, white Brazilians steal his right in every single way, and they are treating his house as a trash can. So his inner anger starts to build up bit by bit as he tries to connect with his original background. The movie doesn't have many locations, however, each location is being used to its maximum capacity. Places like the dairy company in which he works looks exactly like a spaceship. You feel like the guy is in outer space. It looks amazing. Also, his house looks like an aftermath of an explosion with all like things broken and things scattered across space. Also, he goes to a bar regularly in which he gets humiliated each time instead of being a place where he relaxes and escape from everyday oppression. Since most of the movie has no dialogue, the movie utilizes the soundtrack in an excellent way. The soundtrack is very atmospheric and it helps build up tension in scenes. Also, if someone doesn't know what's the meaning of sound design, I would like them to see this movie because you can hear exactly the sound design of it, the way he mixes the sound of the wind, the sound of darkness, the sound of silence, the sound of dead leaves being walked on. All these things help build up the atmosphere of the movie and makes it haunting. This movie is a little bit inaccessible because it's metaphorical and symbolic, and it does not give the main idea straightforward. But once you grasp what's the theme and how it is being presented, you're gonna enjoy the movie and you're gonna see the continuous streak of brilliance. Also, the film feels like a sister movie to another Brazilian movie that came out last year called Bacurau. It's another movie that I saw in a film festival last year, and it's very interesting because I feel like these two movies are starting a freaking genre on their own. It feels like these two movies are set in the same universe, tackling the same themes, sends the same message, which is basically violence creates more violence, and the more peaceful you are, the more you allow the world to walk over you. Both movies depict the awakening of the rage of the original Brazilian citizens against the new generation of the Brazilians who are born in the age of colonialism. Again, it feels like both movies are a part of a cinematic movement of their own. So as you can see, the movies I saw during the Cairo International Film Festival are very interesting and very diverse. I really recommend you seeing the 3 movies. They are all 7.5 out of 10. They're all recommended by me. They are all very different on their own way. Have you seen any of the movies I mentioned? Are you gonna check them out? Please leave your opinion down below, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!